Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Design Reflections with Sissy Jam Flat Glass India. Telling you a little about Sissy Jam for the time that we wait for our very special guest to join us today. Sissy Jam is Europe's #1 glass producer, exporting to 150 countries with operations across 14 countries on 4 continents, thus establishing its global presence. They are one of the top 3 global producers of glass in all its glass main business lines, with 85 years of experience in the glass industry and their strong expertise. They hold a workforce of over 22,000, earning a revenue of over $3 billion. Talking about why we are here, this series, it is my pleasure to welcome you all in today's engaging live session called Design Reflections, presented by Sissy Jam. Design Reflection, as the name suggests, talks about the past, present, and future of the role of glass in design domain, with the designers and architects who are the experts in this industry discussing about their experiences and experiments with glass and sharing a little about their journey in design. So today we have a very special guest called Ruchi Gehani. She, along with her co-founder Rashi Bothra, is a seasoned interior designer with over almost, I would say, a decade of experience in the industry. They co-founded Azure Interiors in 2013, aiming to bring a personalized touch to interior design and styling, specializing in luxury residential projects. Ms. Gehani and her team have successfully executed projects for notable clients which are quite renowned, like Clarks, Zecon, Hello Buster, and various concept retail stores. Their expertise ranges from conceptualization to turnkey projects, bespoke interior solutions that have technical proficiency, furniture design, and quality craftsmanship, all tailored to individual considerations of the clients. Let's wait for her to join us. Before she joins, I just want to say thank you all for again joining us. It's very interesting to have which we have on Friday 6 p.m. We would hopefully have her with us very soon. We will be talking about the unexplored benefits of glass in interiors. Since her domain and expertise is into interiors and interior styling, she would be able to help us on how glass can be used, apart from the already known facts that we know about glass. She would be sharing a little more about her journey and her way of usage of glass. How are you?
Hi, very good. How are you doing, Himani?
Great. So happy to have you on Design Reflections. Even after the entire jittery thing, I think we are here, and I am so happy to see you. And our subscribers and viewers are very happy to have you, and we were very excited. I just told them on what we will be talking about, gave a little introduction about you. But before going forth, I would like to know from you a little more about how Azure came into being, and how did you get here. So let them know a little from you on Azure Interiors.
First of all, hello everyone. I'm Ruchi Gehani. I think Himani have given you a very good introduction. Thank you, and thank you for joining us. About me and about Azure Interiors. We started Azure Interiors 10 years back. Me and my friend Rashi Bothra. We did our studies together, and we did our internship together. We became good friends, and then we decided to start together. The initial years of Azure was very intriguing and very exciting for us. Like we used to be on our sites the entire day. We used to be with the contractors, and we have taken the smallest of the project from single powder washroom. And now I'm glad to say that we have 50 odd projects in our portfolio, and we are happy pursuing the dream.
Absolutely interesting to know that on how it began and how a friendship really led to a professional, arrangement of co-founding each other with this firm called Azure Interiors, which we have known to be established since really long now. I think almost a decade that I was telling them, which is great to know. Okay, so if you can just share with us a little more about your childhood influences and experiences that really sparked your interest into design and interiors.
Yeah. So actually, there's an interesting story behind it, which I would like to tell. When I was 10-year old around, my father are five brothers. Like my grandfather has six sons. So when I was 10-year old, we all lived jointly before that. He decided to build individual houses for each of his sons. And back at the time, there was no concept, or either we don't had the exposure to interior designing or interior designers at that point. So what he used to do is, we used to have contractors. So suppose the carpenter is there. So the carpenter would get catalogs of Fevicol brand.
Right.
So, time back, there used to be a printed catalog in which you can choose the designs.
Yeah.
And he decided to build two houses at a time. So first two were built, and then the next two, and then the next two. So there was a long period of 4-5 years in which all of this was happening, and I was lucky to be a part of this because I used to go market with him. I used to take the catalogs and go to my aunts, uncles, and my parents, and we used to sit and select the things.
Wow.
And from there, I found that I have an interest for this. So we used to select the colors for the bedroom. We used to select the designs. So I always had inclination toward design, but I think that sparked the designer in me. Yeah.
Really interesting. I think if somebody could get certain projects at such a young age, then I think it becomes an easy ride altogether, right? Like you can think of what to do, how to do, and you can really take your decisions there and then. How interesting. Okay. So over like now nearly, like I said, over a decade that you are in luxurious interior design aspects and you are here in this industry, what are the key experiences or projects that you would say, apart from obviously these 6 houses, which are the key projects that you've really done under the wing of Azure that you feel has shaped you and your design philosophy and approach to designing?
So this again is an interesting thing. Basically, there are many experiences which makes you a unique you, which I'm glad we are. But apart from that, there's a philosophy. There's a strong philosophy, which I would like to share with everyone.
Yeah.
So, with an example. So basically, when a project comes to us, we treat that project as a tofu, as a raw tofu.
Right.
Okay. And the client has the liberty, or we want them to tell what are their preferences. Like, do you
Okay.
like Thai? Do you like Indian? Do you have a Mexican taste, or do you like Chinese? All of that kind. I'm trying to explain this
Yeah.
because I consider that the generic public we have here
Right.
is yeah. So we consider the client to be the end user, and they to share, because Himani, here in Raipur, when we started 10 years back, people were not aware of their tastes. They were not aware of what they want. They just wanted an interior designer because they want their house to look beautiful. But
Yeah.
they didn't have the concept or the design. They want bohem, or they want modern, or they didn't know the difference, and
Yeah.
it was lack of exposure.
Right. So like urbanization was happening, people were traveling, but not to an extent that they would know the difference between modern and contemporary and all of that. Absolutely.
So, continuing with my example, then according to their taste and preferences, we put in our design philosophies, our concepts, our uniqueness, and we kind of give flavor to that tofu according to their needs, and we kind of bring essence to it.
Right.
And then the outcome is a unique, tailor-made project which is only for them. And we believe that a project or a house or a place should be reflection of the person who is gonna be there, and it should have a touch of our design. Yeah.
Right. Right. I think you've explained it so beautifully. I mean, I think food is a language that everyone understands. And I think it's beautifully put down that, it's personalized to their taste, right? So, and obviously you've maintained the quality that, a chef or like a restaurant needs to. But apart from that, it's completely personalized. Absolutely. Great, great, great example. So, now talking about, we've understood your vision and your philosophy, how you take on any project, but how do you balance staying true to your personal design style, when you're adapting to evolving trends? Because see, let's say if it's a Chinese restaurant and suddenly somebody comes and asks you for Thai, right? So, how do you stay in touch with these evolving trends?
Yes. Um, for this, I would like to say that being a design firm, you need to have your own strong foundation.
Right.
And Rashi and me, we both, we are blessed that we have the same level of designing sensibilities, and we match at all aspects. So we were very clear with in the initial layers that what is our design language gonna be.
Right.
Once you are clear with that, the second part comes into picture, that trend changes, it comes, it goes. And you as a designer, as a consultant, it's the utmost importance for you to be aware and to be well known of all the trend that is happening around, all the new technologies that are coming, all the new materials that are coming, and what are the pros and cons of it.
Right.
So, after these 2 points have been accomplished, a design activity and the trend awareness, it is our job as a consultant to make people educate about the trends, and to see, is that trend actually making value to them? Is that adding something to their project? And is it aligning with our designing sensibilities? You can't pick a trend because it is trending,
Right.
or pick a because it is going.
Right.
It should
Right.
make justice with the project design sensibilities, the language of the project, and it should add value to the client. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's what designers should do, and guide the client well. And yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you on that. So let's move on to talking about glass, specifically why we are here for, talking about beyond the surface, how glass has unexplored benefits which we don't really know, because we know glass from a layman perspective, where we know glass is used in partitions. I mean, that's what usually we've seen, or maybe glass as a tabletop in interior spaces. But I think that's the limitation that a generic layman would really know about. And we have you here, so let's extract as much information from you, knowing the unexplored benefits of glass in interior space. So if you can, commencing on this theme that we're talking about, what are the some hidden benefits that you can share with us according to you in interior space of glass?
Okay. Um, First of all, I would like to say glass is our favorite material. The reason is the versatility of glass.
Right.
Glass is such a versatile material that it can be used however, wherever you want it. To put this, the answer to it in pointers, so that it becomes easy for the general people to understand. The first point is, glass has a property of transparency and privacy. So we have the control to actually to show how much of transparency we want and how much of opaqueness we want in a glass. For example, I'll give a very common example, like in offices. You know how much of the area you need to cover, and you know how much of the area you need to show. How much of the area actually needs to be highlighted, and how much of the area needs privacy. So the first point will definitely be transparency and privacy at the same time. The second factor or the second property of glass, I would like to say, is visual connectivity and spaciousness. Now coming to the residential part, a smallest of powder washroom, just by installing glass or mirror on a wall, you can just double the depth of it. You can just bring the spaciousness into it. So it is very, it is again a versatile material, and you can use it into a smallest of space and the biggest of space. The dressing areas, the powder washrooms. We personally use it in drawing rooms also, because you know the factor or the spaciousness that it adds to an area. No other material can justify that.
Right.
Third, and the most important factor, which we as designers, it is our responsibility to take care, is glass is a sustainable material. Glass is recyclable, and it is energy efficient. So when glass is used, you just need to be aware of the exact property of the glass and where are you planning to use it, and then you can use it very well in for insulations, for thermal insulations, and everywhere. So I think, yeah, these are my takes on the point.
I did quite well, where we have a lot of points that are covered, talking about glass in various spaces, rather, not just maybe like a powder washroom, but even in like a living space or to the bedroom, on how it could be as versatile as possible. So how do you, like, when I talk about, like we were talking about privacy, right? So how do you approach privacy concerns when using glass in interior space? Because that's quite a question that we get, where people ask this specifically when they're making a residential project.
Right. Privacy, I think, is is not a very well covered topic in terms of we as consultant when we explain it to our clients. So again, by giving an example, when you go into a hotel room, you see one wall to be entire of glass between the washroom and the bedroom, and you don't feel that the privacy is getting hampered there. In the similar way, we can incorporate glass into our houses. It's just in the mental block that we have, or a layman has, that it hampers the privacy. But when a right education or a right way of putting a glass or installing a glass is being told to the client, I think there are many glasses available. We have an advantage, or it's been used for past many years. The curtains, the drapes that goes behind the glass, and so you have an option to make a transparent wall. I think that's a plus point of looking into the other side of privacy, that you can cover it, plus you have an advantage of decovering.
Right.
Yeah. Also, n number of films are available, n number of patterns on glass are available, and by which you can choose to be selectively transparent, and at the same time maintain the privacy. So I think privacy should never be a concern, but it's just a mind blockage.
Possible. And I think, Ruchi can help us with that wherever that they are stuck, right? So,
Yeah.
there, but I think, yeah, that's quite a different take, that privacy should not be a concern because it can be used in multi-folds way, and the pros should be taken into consideration on how it can be used in a dual way, right? So great learning from there. So talking now, we've spoken about residential spaces, you've kind of told us about commercial office spaces also, but in your opinion, what is the advantage specifically of using glass in like a commercial office interior space?
Okay. In a commercial office interior space, uh, glass, everyone knows, are used for partitions and to make the space, as I've mentioned earlier. But
Yeah.
to give some different points here, I think glass, if incorporated rightly, it divides, and integrates. If you use it as a divider and you integrate technology with it, there's nothing better than that. You can convert glass boardroom into a meeting area by just creating the effect of light and then breaking the maintain the privacy, and also you can decover it again. You can use that as a white surface, as a whiteboard. You can incorporate technology with touchscreen displays. You can actually create, a kind of whole screen of whatever you want to present at whatever time you want. So I think that is the first point of incorporating glass with the technology, the dividers with the technology. The second point is, I think glass is such a good material that apart from the partitions and the usual, the doors and the windows, we should try ourselves experimenting it on staircases, on mezzanine floors of an office. It'll look stunning, it'll stand out, you'll have interconnectivity, you'll be able to see the environment. And when you see the working environment around you, you yourself feel motivated towards the work. So I think we should put glass out of that usual partition context, and we should use it in a different way, because there's no limitation of using glass. If you increase the thickness, use the right kind of glass, you can play very well with it, and it'll look stunning.
Especially the in technology that has come into play, like you rightly mentioned, you can use it in different ways possible. You can convert it into a whiteboard, or you can have a glass with light partition, and then you can take the light away, and again it becomes like a bare barrier free space. So I think that's quite an interesting take.
One more point, you can actually add lights to it. So if you want, the entire space can turn blue into the while evening, if you are having an HR engagement activity. It can turn red if you want to party. It can turn yellow if you want to just have lunch or have hang around. So it changes the mood of the entire area.
Not need any other space to party or to have an engagement activity. If you have an office like that, right, you can always turn it the way that you want. And I think that's quite a take what I think people would really take. So okay, so we've spoken about how glass partitions can change the way, but there is one more important aspect that I want you to answer, which is talking about acoustics, right? That is also a major concern when we use a different typology of glass, or we use any other material. So it is a vital aspect to talk about in office spaces specifically. So could you share some of the acoustical benefits of glass when you use it in an interior office space?
I think acoustic is the area in which we have the dimmest of light. Not many people are aware of it. Even many of the consultants are not aware. I would not be ashamed that I was also not aware for quite a long time, unless and until we had an urgent requirement or an urge to actually know about it and to use it. And when we were stuck at a place that we had to go through all the process and we had to learn about it, and we were very much lucky and fortunate to actually learn all the process of how a glass can be used in many other ways apart from the things I told you earlier. Yeah. So acoustic, to cover it into four broad aspects, there's a laminated glass in which two glasses, there's a sandwich of PVB and EVA sheets, wherein you can control the level of sound that you want, and also you can control the level of heat. So that is the first glass, lamination glass. The second one is the DGU glass, which means double glazed glass, in which the glass has vacuum or air between the two glasses again, which again works as an acoustic. Now it depends from how much of the acoustics you want,
right,
in that particular
right.
Yeah. The third will be which is very easy to use, is patterned or textured glass. So not many people are aware of this, but if we use pattern or textured glass, it can actually diffuse the sound wave and it reduces the echo. So just by not adding these a little expensive glass, you can just add a texture and you can just control the sound in a closed area.
Right.
Yeah. And I think the fourth point would be glass films. So glass films nowadays is the easiest way. You can just put a film and you can just control the sound and the heat by how much temperature, how much of the sound wave you want. and that is the most easiest way that one can incorporate in the existing space also. Actually, it's a very broad chapter, but just to simplify, I've just put down it 4 points so that it becomes clear to everyone.
Right. Usually what happens is whenever that we talk about acoustics, people really worry about that it's going to be expensive, especially if you're using glass and we are using acoustics with it, then it becomes extremely expensive, not realizing the fact that it solves many other issues that comes along with an acoustical room, like you mentioned. And I think that broadly solves the issue of whatever considerations that people had by the 4 options that you gave them, that it's not necessarily that you need to pick one option and that's the only way out. You can always have a easier solution depending on the kind of acoustic requirement you have, right? So great. I think that's quite a great learning from there. Okay, so just quick questions from you. We've understood in terms of which are the hidden benefits of glass, which were really important to know. But let's come to talking about your design reflection moment, right? Because you've been in the industry since really long, so we would like to know, has there been a time that you've come to where you can say that this was my design reflection moment?
Actually, there are many, and we are fortunate to have many of them. So, being a design firm, you constantly evolve. You evolve from each project of yours. There can be a one takeaway point, there can be 10 takeaway points, and you just want to you set benchmark for your own self. And when in terms of evolving or the biggest takeaway, I would say we have been continuously evolving, and there have been many ups and downs. There has been, because Himani, to be me and Rashi, we started very young, and to be in this industry, especially in Jaipur, it was a male-dominated industry, and we being young girls, when we sit on a table to discuss with a client, it will be like, what are these young girls gonna do to our house? How are they gonna make justice to our money? So that was that was the biggest challenge for us. So it took time for us to actually build that confidence in terms of us doing justice to their project, and for us that was the biggest thing. And after that, we had many takeaways. So we know how to deal with a client, we know what are the important factors that we need to make sure of, and in terms of vendor dealing, in terms of using the right material in the right place, that is also a responsibility of a consultant. It's not just the design element. It's there are n number of factors which, as a designer, you need to take care of. Just by being a good designer and not being able to serve out better, I think you might fail. You have to stand strong, and you need to know that you have to be there and out to serve people, and that is the most fulfilling thing as a designer. When what you sketch, it comes out into a picture,
Right.
and the clients are happy, and we ourselves are happy. So I think
Right.
that
Feels and basically dreams coming to reality, and you've made it possible. Great. Okay, so any message that you would like to give young designers on people who would want to make a mark in the industry after you?
young designers, yeah, actually, there are quite a few points which, from our own experiences, I would like to share. The first point will be build a strong foundation.
Right.
You just can't be out there if you don't have a solid understanding of the main fundamentals, like space planning, color themes, bringing harmony, materials, lighting. Your foundation should be so solid that given a project, you are clear with the foundation, and you just need to put your design sensibilities, and the things will work out. Yeah. The second point I would like to highlight will be develop your unique style. That is the most difficult thing, but with cultivating, experimenting, and being consistent and exploring, one can develop a unique style, and every designer has their own unique style. You just need to be in yourself. You just need to not go with the trend, and you need to find out your own unique style, which is most important. And after that, there's only bright shining out there for you once you are aware of your own unique style.
Right.
Yeah. The third point, which we have experienced very much, me and Rashi, both of us, as I mentioned earlier, is gaining practical knowledge. You know, we have the privilege of having good contractors, good team, and good mentors around in the site. And the biggest learning which a young designer can take is by making their site their office. Go
Right.
spend time with the contractors. They have so much of experience.
Right.
You know, by just product, how are they molding it? You'll have 10 different ideas of making a unique style out of it. You just have to be out there, and you just need to know. You just need to be technically very sound before you go into the field, and that's the right age when you can go there. You know, you have lesser projects. You can just go onto your site. You can just be there. You can just learn the things, because as you'll go, you'll have more projects and you'll have lesser of the time, and you need to do justice to everyone and every project that you have. So I think, being young designer, you have the privilege of doing that.
Absolutely. And it's a every how you've been learning, I have been learning, and I think we all move from there, right? So that should be a great learning for young designers, and it was absolutely a pleasure to have you here with us, talking about your experiences and your experiments with glass. Thank you so much for joining us on the Design Reflection series. It was lovely to have you.
Thank you, Himani. Thank you for giving us this platform to share our knowledge and our experiences with the audience, the lovely audience that you have.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Design Reflections by Sissy Jam Flat Glass India. Today, we had with us Ruchi Gehani, who shared her experiences with us, and we got to learn a lot about glass today and the role of glass with different benefits of glass in interior space. This is architect Himani Ahuja, founder One Digital, signing off. Thank you, everybody, and have a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you.